You know, everyone has a limit, right? Even I have one, and I feel like I'm kind of a chill person in general, but yeah, every single person on this planet has a limit. Now, even Moleman, who is in a virtual game, has a limit, right? And when Moleman is at that limit, that's when things start to get very, very scary for the opponent. So what am I talking about here? Well, Moleman's signature ability, which is called Giganto Jr.'s Revenge, is honestly one of the most fun awakened abilities in the game because of what it does to Moleman and his overall damage output. So you're going to see here that we're going to drop a heavy attack. It's going to do like 54,000 damage. We're going to drop the SP2 and look at this final hit. A nice 75,000 damage, and this was a 20-something second fight. That's Moleman at his limit, and we're gonna run through all of Realm of Legends here because as we go through the quest, the health just keeps on getting lower and the damage gets even wilder. So here we have this Captain Marvel fight, and we're doing like 20,000 mediums right off the bat. It's honestly just incredible stuff. And so with Moleman here, I want to point out that he isn't max Sig just yet. So this could get even crazier if I wanted it to, and he is going to be Sig 200 eventually, but as it stands right now, he is still crushing it even at low Sig here, or middle Sig, sorry. And yeah, another 75,000 crit to end the fight. Really crazy stuff here. And yeah, he's currently Sig, I believe, 124, which isn't bad in the slightest, but once he's Sig 200, I will redo this video, but I want to still show how it is even at middle Sig. And of course he doesn't need this, right? It's just a very funny thing to test out. And Moleman doesn't need this extra damage, right? He is a great DPS by himself, but when you take him to low health, yeah, it just starts to skyrocket, and it's just really, really entertaining. So here I go back in, I drop a nice SP2, and it does, yeah, 70,000 plus damage, because why not? And here we go into the next fight. Now we have a Rhino fight. Now this one should be really, really good, but I did mess it up a bit. So if you didn't notice, what I was doing with the SP2 is I would wait until I have an unstoppable, because whenever I have the unstoppable, I get a bonus attack rating increase. Now at all times he gets a bonus crit damage rating increase, so that's already good, but with the SP2 and the unstoppable pausing, it is a really, really massive special attack. So yeah, that's why I play it that way. There I mess up and I didn't time it right, so I don't get the extra attack rating, but it was still a 67,000 crit. So yeah, man, it just doesn't stop getting crazy. But now we have the Storm fight, and this is the first time where we lose a good chunk of health, because with mutant characters, Moleman doesn't have a guaranteed chance to purify his debuffs. And we're actually taking some bleed damage here now, and that's going to take us down quite a bit. So yeah, the damage output's going to get even crazier, and it's going to go down to 1% eventually. And a 1% health Moleman, he is a deity, right? I think Moleman's a pretty great champion, even at full health, but when he's at low health, oh yeah, it's really, really fun. But yeah, here we have this Vision fight, and this is no bleeds available for us because Vision is obviously bleed immune. So how does he fare when there are 0 bleeds? And the answer is very good, because yeah, look at these 20,000 mediums. It's pretty impressive stuff, right? He's a good DPS, even if the opponent is bleed immune, because of just the raw power of his crit damage just being supercharged. And yeah, here we go in for another combo. We drop a combo again, and then we drop the SP2, and yeah, look at this, man. It is a thing of beauty. 70,000 plus crit, and that was what, another sub 30-second fight despite there being bleed immunity. That is pretty wild. That is definitely pretty wild. Now we have this Black Panther fight, and this one isn't too shabby. It's pretty straightforward. This Black Panther though, he does have a pretty like wonky AI, and honestly throughout this entire video you've probably noticed how like the AI sometimes just doesn't want to hit my block for some reason. It's really frustrating, and it does stall the fight time a bit. I feel like with a really good AI these fights could be like 20 seconds probably. But yeah, here I dropped the SP2 and that just does it. Beautiful crit right there. It is so fun. But now we have the Scarlet Witch fight, and I'm going to put this in 2x speed because it is just not an ideal moment fight, because if I try to enter Frenzy, I'm going to be doing guaranteed crits, right? And with Scarlet Witch, whenever you crit her, you get a debuff on you, and it could go south very fast. Like, I probably wouldn't survive, to be honest. Okay, actually, I would survive, but like, I would just be doing like 0 damage. So yeah, I'm just not down for that. I'm just gonna take it slow. And like the damage output isn't even that bad. Like whenever we do crit, we crit for a good chunk of damage. So yeah, it's like fine obviously, but there I get hit, which is pretty funny. And yeah, there we go. Not too shabby in the slightest. But now we have Wolverine here, and what I want to happen is I don't purify any debuffs, because I want to get down to 1% to like end the video, or like end this part of the video off perfectly. So let's see what we got here. We got 0 purifies, which is perfect because we're going to be taken down all the way to 1%. And yeah, it's gonna be showtime after this, man. I'm so pumped. So yeah, here we enter Frenzy, and the damage output is looking pretty good for class disadvantage. And yeah, the fight is going to be over pretty quickly because I drop a heavy attack. We are going to get unstoppable into the SP2, and we do too much damage. You know, that kind of sucks. I wanted to see that last crit for sure, but yeah, sometimes Mole Man just does too much damage. It is what it is. It is suffering from success, I am well aware, but now it's time for 1% Mole Man. This is where the deity really is, and I am pumped for this. So we're going to enter Frenzy, 20,000 plus as per usual, but I want to see that SP2 crit. I want to see how much it like crits for, man. I am so excited to see. Here I drop the heavy attack, I go back in, drop a combo into the SP2, 60,000 first hit, and then a nice 80,000 plus crit right there. That is wild stuff, man. That is very wild stuff. And now it's time for the Hulk fight. Let's just end it on a good note. It's already been really fun, so why not just keep it going? And yeah, 1% Mole Man still just hanging in there. He's just barely surviving, but you know what? It's okay, because we have Heimdall on our side. We are kind of just chilling regardless. 18,000 mediums, 50,000 plus heavy attack, 25,000 medium there, and the fight's going to be over very soon. So yeah, here we dropped the SP2, and I don't know why the damage output was less, even though, you know, it's class advantage. Like, yeah, I don't know why we did less damage there, but it was still a really fast fight. And yeah, now we have this Act 8 path. I'm going to do a full clear of this path and the boss with a low health Mole Man, just to show that, like, you know, it's kind of practical in, you know, a questing scenario. Like, if you get hit and stuff, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine, because you can just use Mole Man at low health, and it is kind of bonkers. So yeah, man, this is just so silly. Like, look at this damage output. We block the unblockable. Here, go in for a combo, and yeah, the fight's just done. Sub 20 seconds. It is what it is, man. I'm used to it at this point. But now we have this Yellow Jacket fight. Gonna be some silly stuff yet again, and yeah, let's just go for it, bro. Let's just go for it. So the fight's gonna start, and it's gonna end very like soon after, to be honest. So we're gonna drop a heavy attack, no crit, that's okay. Let's go back in here though, see what's up, and yeah, the fun is beginning. 30,000 plus mediums. Is it inflated? Obviously, but does it really matter? Nah, because it's still very fun, and like, it's a good showing of how tanky Mole Man is as well. Like, this man, he gains bonus physical resistance per monster mass on him, so like, once he's at like 6 or something, he's a pretty tanky champion. However, keep in mind that it's just physical resistance, because with this Sorcerer Supreme fight, she does only energy damage, so Mole Man isn't going to be as tanky as usually is for this fight. However, it's still good enough, and like he still wallops this fight. It's so hilarious. And yeah, that was like how many seconds? I couldn't even check, but it was not a lot of seconds, right? It's so goofy, man. It's just so goofy. But now we have this Odin fight, and you know, Odin pretty tanky, but like crits kind of just shred through him. So Moleman's just gonna be perfect for this fight. And yeah, check this out. Go back in here, get some damage going, and yeah, it's kind of just already over. Here I go for another combo, 32,000 medium. Here he drops CSP2, that's fine. And yeah, another fight in the bin. Our health looking pretty solid right now, but I'm a bit nervous, right? Because the boss fight, it's a Joe Fixit boss, and Joe Fixit is known to have block penetration. He has Disorient. He has a ton of scary things, right? So I can't like mess up a once in that fight, or else I'd just be screwed. So I have to be careful. And right here as well, I got very lucky because a long shot didn't nullify the unstoppable buff, and if he were to do that, I would have been done for, because he'd get that massive unstoppable, and that'd just be super annoying. But you know what? He didn't do that, so we're chilling. And that was a very fast fight as well, man. That was incredibly fast. But now we have this Human Torch fight, and this is the final fight of the path, and let's see how fast this one is. You know, Human Torch, all energy damage, so we won't be as tanky versus him, but I think we'll still be fine. And my suspicion was correct, because look at this. It's class advantage, it's bleed vulnerability, it's just everything you want to see in a Moleman fight. It's just amazing. Here I drop the SP1, get that shock transferred onto him, do that massive slam dunk drop, and there we go, man. That was such a clean fight. But now it's time for the boss, and I want you to guess right now what the fight time's going to be for this boss fight. He has like, what, 800,000 health. He's a pretty beefy Joe Fixit. Guess the fight time. He has bleed vulnerability, keep that in mind, and he also has ebb and flow knockdown. So it's an interesting fight. It's not going to be like ideal per se, but it's very good for Moleman at least. So here we go. And yeah, we drop a heavy attack, get it started here, get our frenzy going, and so far we're just trying to take a chill, just trying to get our heavy attacks going. The damage output's pretty sweet right now, and I was like, wait a second, what if I just don't let him throw a special attack? So I go for that strat, and yeah, here we go, the final stretch, and here we get saved by Heimdall. So I go in, I cash out all my chips, and you know what? It was worth it, because look at that beautiful 110,000 crit. And this was such a fun video to make, because Moleman at his limit is someone you do not want to mess with. So let me know your thoughts on Moleman. This is just the second part of the week of Moleman. We got a whole lot more coming, and for my channel members, even more throughout this week as well. So let me know your thoughts on Moleman, and yeah, that's about it for me.